But remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research and never ever invest more than you can afford to lose. Crypto and DeFi are so risky, you can lose all your money. So, is the crypto bull run really over? Or are we just building for the next leg up? It's hard to say at this point. But we can take some time building on base, creating on Zora, farming on Aerodrome, or playing around in the TAWAL ecosystem. So in this video, you're going to learn tons. So stick around. We're diving into what's changed in the world of crypto and the actual moves I'm personally making in my portfolio, where I see the upside, even in the downtrend. Before we go any farther, remember none of this today is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Please do your own research and never invest more than you can afford to lose. Find Dad's DeFi space over on Zora. Check out our Web 2 educational content and dadsdefispace.org. Now let's get to today's video. If you take a look at the Bitcoin chart just a few days ago, momentum was fading. We got RSI buried in the ground. The MACD crossed bearish, and multiple weekly closes have now, one and almost two weekly closes has happened below the 50-week. Now, what's interesting is Bitcoin usually goes back up to check the 200-week moving average, which right now is still sitting around 109, 110K. And on top of that, we were sitting directly on the 100-week MA, which we did talk about in our private Telegram group. So check that one out below. Now, historically, the 100-week moving average has been a bounce zone, but this is never guaranteed. I have it marked on my chart in the yellow box. Usually, the bull market ends with a death cross, and we do not get that death cross rally that we always see during the bull run. It has not happened yet, but Bitcoin began looking bullish today, and we'll take a look at those charts in just a minute. But next, I wanted to take a look at the Ethereum charts. What's interesting here, if you take a look at the Ethereum chart, is Ethereum lost the 100-week MA and wicked down all the way to 2,625. Look, both of these charts are where long-term support has been, and the risk reward here has been excellent. I did take longs on both Bitcoin and ETH on Layer Bank. Join the Telegram group and come trade with us. It's a lot of fun. But what we saw over the last couple of days, in my opinion, is a capitulation. Now, we can sit here and argue all day why this happened. The Japanese carry trade already unwinding again, Trump's tariffs, macro uncertainty, a high unemployment rate, and Jerome Powell saying, no thanks, you might not get that rate cut in December, but people are starting to look a little bit more positive if you check polymarket data. And to be quite honest, I'm not going in heavy, but I am layering in slowly. A $3,000 reclaimed of Ethereum to me would be slightly bullish in the near term. Now, the bigger question, is it the bear market yet? I don't know, but I can tell you this. We are more than likely going to have a very strong rebound at some point. So you want to be positioned for that. And while I wait, we can just create content over on base. Now, at this point of the cycle, I began to exit out of altcoins that weren't performing. We are now out of injective. Virtuals for the time being, although we are farming it in our crystal vault. We've heavily cut back on our SUI position and deleveraged our Solana lending position. Now, I have looked into a few higher conviction plays within the base ecosystem. Zora, Jesse on as a creator token, some of my small cap friends, you know who you are. But there's not too many tokens I'm going to hold through this storm that is on the horizon. One of the next charts I wanted to take a look at was Arrow. This is Arrow on the daily from 48 hours ago, and it was sitting as low as 65 cents pretty much. I don't know how far this wick went down, but oh my goodness, probably close to 50 cents. We have accumulated a small position of Arrow. This one is much more volatile than Ethereum, but usually the gains are more due. And to be quite honest, the majority of our Arrow position has all been from farming on the Aerodrome platform. But at this point in time, I'm not going to add too much more to my Arrow position until we completely claim 75 cents. And we'll take a look at Arrow when we take a look at the charts right now in just a minute. But I also wanted to talk about another way we're playing the game right now. That is the TAWAL ecosystem. Besides Base, Solana, Ethereum, and maybe a little bit of Sui, I still believe in the TAWAL ecosystem. There's real use cases with this AI protocol. It has the same inflation rate and hard cap at 21 million coins like Bitcoin has. And I like the idea that these AI networks are competing for your yield on this blockchain. Now, we are invested in a few different TAO pools, but the staking yields are crazy on some of these. Some of the lower risk TAO subnets, such as shoots or ridges, you can earn anywhere from a 40 to a 70% APR. And if you want to get a little bit more risky, for example, like TAWAL, which we do have a stake in, is earning 113% APR. Now, these are risky plays. They're much more even volatile than TAO, but they also can get bigger gains in TAO when the market is bullish. So we are strategically picking certain subnets and using the staking yield to keep up with some of the higher volatility of these plays. Next, I wanted to take a look at Zora. I had the Bollinger Bands up, and you can see that it got very tight between the bands, and it's tightening between the bands again. I have been accumulating in the range between 0.04 and 0.047 and 0.045. My plan here is it's an early base ecosystem bid, obviously accumulating on range breakouts, and we get up into the upper 5 cent region, almost into 6 cents. I tend to take a short, but until we can get support back above 0.0525, we are still range bound on Zora, running the risk of falling lower. Now, another project that we are watching during this part of the market cycle is Pendle. This is to help us with stablecoin yields because you got to have some dry powder on the side. Looking forward to seeing what is being built on the base network for stablecoins. Pendle has become my go-to on Ethereum, Base, and other ecosystems for yield. I'm parking stables and fixed rate pools or LPs, earning solid APRs on either Arbitrum or Base. Pretty low risk. And I keep track of it on here for the expiries. So I can either take my stables to probably buy creator coins or to roll over into other fixed yields. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about today is why I'm creating on Base Zora with Dad's DeFi space right now. I'm taking you to my Zora profile. If you would like to become a part of our community, I have links in the description to not just our profile, but the creator coin report, the channel, become part of our network on Zora. We post our market updates there, base ecosystem plays, and I even throw some of my TAO and other chains on my Zora profile. Base is one of those few ecosystems out there that I think is really growing, and it's growing in more in just one way because Base is for everyone. I'm all in. I'm minting. I'm farming on Aerodrome. I'm creating on Zora and Base with Dad's DeFi space. Aerodrome is still producing, and Base is still an app activity that's picking up. You know, the Jesse Pollock thesis is playing out. And if you're a creator, obviously you need to be on Base and Zora. Now, if you stayed around to the end of the video, I do have 5 Base app invites. If you're interested, send me a DM on Telegram. Find me over on X at CryptoZone1013. Let me know what you would want to build or create on Base. I want to give those 5 away to some of the best sounding builders and creators out there if you don't already have an invite yet. So to conclude, the bull run, it might be on a pause, but the game isn't over yet. It's just shifting. Defense buys survival, narratives buy upside, and yield creator tokens can buy you some peace of mind during these trying times. Look, I'm not here for all the hype, but I'm here to be standing when the next cycle hits, or at least just the next pop. I want to be positioned, ready, and focused. So go out, touch. So if this helps you, please drop a comment, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss my next moves. Join our free Telegram group or check us out at dadsdefispace.org. Help support the channel by checking out our links, non-KYC exchange, Blowfin, and Weeks. That is what I trade on. And stay tuned. I'm going to be releasing a video on Aster in the near future. Hope each of you enjoy the rest of your day. And I want to thank you for taking some time out to help support my channel and my mission. Go find us over at Dad's DeFi Space on X at CryptoZone1013. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay strong out there. Touch some grass. Peace.